Welcome to Gems, Glamour, Elegance, Money, and Sex. Talk about it, and not necessarily in that order. So how are you guys out there today? I am actually talking to you from sunny Brisbane, Australia. Yeah, mate, how's it going, mate? Haven't seen any roos yet, but I've run into quite a few Aussie blokes, and they're very cute, let me just say. Anyway, how are y'all doing? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? So before we opened up the show, before we started recording, I was talking with my creative producer and about all kinds of things. And 3 words came out of her mouth and I went, that's it. That's the topic. How to create your future. What is it that keeps us from looking at how to create our future? What is it about the future? I would like to invite you to do something that's weird, that's maybe might take 5 minutes of your time. Get out a piece of paper, get out a pen, and ask this question. What is my future reality? What would I like my future reality to look like? Wow, yeah. Do you get that blank? It's almost like, like dogs watching television. Now, the question is, if you don't begin to look at what you'd like your future to be like, how in the world are you going to go in that direction? This is sort of like if you take an arrow and you set up your target 100 feet and you've got, those red and white rings, kind of like the Target stores. Haha, it's called Target. It's pretty funny. And you set it up and you pull your arrow back and you shoot for the sky, or you shoot for the center of the arrow, the center of the ring, or you shoot to the right to the tree. So there you've got 3 different possibilities. So what's fun for you? Shooting up in the sky and maybe killing a squirrel or someone walking by. Who knows? That might be fun too. Shooting to the right, shoot a tree. Was that fun? Did that get you where you wanted to go? It's just a choice. Or aiming at your target and actually skimming the edge of it. Or then the next time you shoot the arrow, maybe you get in the white. Then maybe you get it closer to the ring, closer by another ring of red, then another ring of white. And maybe you actually end up getting the bullseye. Now, if you didn't go by the arrows, go by the bow and take them out and stand out there once a day going, I'm going to hit that bullseye no matter how long it takes, would you ever hit the bullseye? I hope that makes sense to y'all. It's kind of like, what action are you going to take to create the future? So we are getting ready to go into another year, 2019. We are headed in that direction. What do you desire for your 2019 to be? Same old, then stop listening to me and just keep doing what you're doing. If you'd like to have something different, if you'd like to have change, if you'd like to have more money, more fun, different types of sex, different types of relationships, get jiggy with it, as they say down here. If you'd like to have more ease, if you'd like to include a horse into your future, what action do you need to put in place to have that be something that is going to be in your future? I would say next year. And what about the next 3 years? Right now, I am looking at the next 3 years. For some reason, I got it in my little pea brain that I'd like to have a different life, and I'm giving myself 3 years to do it. And what do I mean by a different life? What I mean is, I'd like to live somewhere different. So what action did I do? Well, last month, I put my house up for sale. Well, that's an action, right? I am moving. No matter what, I'm moving. I don't know where I'm moving to, but I'm moving, right? So I'd like to live somewhere different. I'd like to be more educated. How do I become more educated? Well, one thing I did was I took a weekend trip, not a weekend trip. I just lied to you. Sorry. It was not a weekend. It was a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it was sort of a half weekend, half not weekend. And I went up to New York, and I was there for a board meeting with an amazing board that I serve on. And I decided to go to my alma mater, my undergraduate. I did undergraduate work at Parsons School of Design and the New School of Social Research. That's where I got my undergraduate degree. And so I was looking at their online courses for their graduate degrees. And I thought, well, heck, I'll just go down there and talk to them. So the day before my board meeting, I went down and I spent time with a couple counselors, and I found out what their master's programs in art, design, and museum and curatorial studies, and the things that I'm interested in. I had an art gallery for 6 years. I was in art school for like 25, it seems. Well, I started, I think, when I was 6 years old. I took painting classes. So what would I like more of in my future? I desire more art, so much more art, and art and industry. And in addition to finishing my book, I have my book now with someone who is formatting it, and within the next like 3 days, I'll be going over the editing, and the book will be out the first quarter of 2019. So that's part of my future reality. What would you like your future reality to be? Start writing down things. And make them kind of general. Make them specific and general. If you can do like a list of 10 things, like what would you like to have in 3 years? So for me, I'm looking at right now, I'd like to get a master's degree, a 2-year degree. Now, how do I go about doing that? What do I go about doing? What am I interested in? Where am I interested in? And all that stuff. So this is bringing up questions. Wow, what can you do right now? What action can you take today to create your future reality right away? And everything that doesn't allow you to perceive that information, destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC and POD, all 9, choice, boys, and beyonds. So in many ways, you can POC and POD a point of view. You can destroy the point of view. But until you make a choice to put action to your desired outcome, you can POC and POD till the horses come home, or the cows come home, I guess it is. I got horses on my brain. You can POC and POD till the cows come home, but until you take action, do something active for your future, is it going to manifest itself? You are the manifester of your future. Life just doesn't happen to you. You create it. You were given free will. It's not just a church thing. It's like a humanoid, living on planet Earth, 2-legged thing. Now, what are you going to do? Who are you going to be? So I'd like to talk about this. What is your reality? I think if you start with, well, we've been talking about this for years. What is your reality with money? That's a little bit more tangible. And if you start with what is your reality with money, and just write it down. I have a new notebook that I get like every few weeks, actually. I just go to the drugstore and get this cheap little notebook thing. And I've written down on one page, what is my reality with money? What would I like my reality to money to be like? And be really honest. What is my reality with sex? That's a fun one. Whoo, boy. So what is your reality with sex? Are you a one man, one woman kind of girl, boy? Or do you love multiple partners? Get real, get honest with yourself. What is your reality with relationship? What is it? What is it you'd like to create? Please, please, please look at what is your reality with the future. How many years would you like to stay here? Do you have enough money to take you through that number of years? If not, you may have to do something completely different than you're doing now to have a completely different monetary future. You may have to choose something completely different to have a completely different sexual future, to have a different relationship future. Because if you don't do anything different, you're going to end up having the same thing 3 years from now. Is that what works for you? If it is, cool. For me, it's not. I have come to this awareness that I would like to change tracks. What's changing tracks? Well, it's kind of like instead of going forward to the East Coast, you jump over to the other side of the tracks and you start heading to the West Coast. That's changing tracks literally. Now you can change tracks energetically as well. And so any of you all that would like to change tracks, 13, 13, 13, give yourself the ability to change tracks. You can do this. Would an infinite being be stuck in one track, one mindset, one job, one place, one person, one outcome? That would be a no, Bob. So if you're willing to look at infinite being something that is possible for you, then you can look at a different future. Start asking the question, what is my future? What would I like my future to be like? Oh, and also like, so what would I like my future to smell like? What would I like my future to taste like? What would I like my future to feel like? What would, and most importantly, what would I like my future to be like? Be like. That, if you begin to ask those few things, you will begin to see, perceive, and hopefully begin to receive a possibility for something different in your future. All righty. How much time do we have left, CP? 0. Oh, we're out of time. Okay. Well, if you like this topic, let me know. Let me hear from you guys. So otherwise, see you next time on Jen.